Okay. Are y'all ready? You ready?
Hello.
You ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
We're gonna need some wine. All right. What's up, everybody?
How y'all doing tonight?
What's going on? Okay, so today is the day, guys. It is Marriage Monday, and we will be doing a questionnaire. Oops. We'll be doing a questionnaire off of questions that you guys have asked us on social media. I had you guys go on all of our social media platforms and inbox or comment or leave any questions, and you guys left us some good questions. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? Are you
Let's
ready?
do it.
Grab y'all a glass of wine, grab you some tea, girl, or grab you a cup of coffee. I don't care what you grab, but let's get right into this video.
I number one.
Okay, he's done with his wine already. But let's get right into this video. Let's see. So the first question is, out of 10 years of being together, have you guys ever went through a rough patch where things were rocky? If so, how did you overcome those obstacles or those hard times? So you want to answer first, or you want me to answer first?
So yeah, you're gonna go through rough patches, but you just have to remember, like you said, to communicate and remember that you love that person and try to figure out the best way to get through it. So, yeah.
Like you said, you're always gonna go through rough patches. I feel like everybody goes through rough patches in life itself. So I feel like a relationship is no different. Besides you just having a partner to actually go through the rough patches with. Rough patches, I feel like, are necessary in every relationship. Rough patches help you guys grow, helps you like learn each other better, and helps you understand your partner better as well. So you guys know what you've done wrong or what has hurt this person, or you know, anything like that. Like, I feel like rough patches are necessary. It helps you grow, it helps you understand your partner better, and it just helps you just in general as a whole couple and as a whole. So I feel like everybody has rough patches. Do not let anybody tell you they don't, because girl, they're lying. They definitely have rough patches. We definitely did. I say more so in the beginning. Yeah, I say more so in the first 5 years. And someone, you know what, it's so crazy because someone told me, I'm not sure, it was one of my elders. Someone told me in your first 5 years are the most trying and toughest times. If you can get through the first 5 years of your marriage, then you're good to go. And we're at 10 now. Actually, in a couple weeks, we're at 10. In 2 weeks, we're at 10 years. So we're good. We're good. But no, absolutely. Everybody goes through rough patches. I mean, like, honestly, like, if you don't have rough patches, then something may be a little wrong. And I say, like, when you guys do find yourself going through like a trying time or rough patch or whatever you want to call it, just learn to communicate with each other. Communication is one of the #1 things that is such a big key to helping your relationship grow and to just nurture it. Like, you need communication. If you don't communicate with your partner or your spouse, that's just one thing that's just it's gonna tarnish everything. So I believe communication and understanding your partner better. Like, even if someone does make a mistake, you know, you just have to understand, and you have to be more understanding when you're in a marriage anyway. So I definitely believe that those two things.
Because we as men, we do not like to communicate.
Listen, that's true. Listen, this is coming from the cow's mouth. Like, you listen, I had to mold him. I had to mold him. Okay, so next question. So yes, we definitely have some rough patches, and some of them you probably wouldn't even believe, but we have, and we've made it this far. So you guys, you got this, trust me. So next question is, did you lose friends after getting married and starting a family?
Yes.
Did you?
Yes.
I absolutely did. I absolutely did, which I thought was crazy, because I'm like, okay, why would I lose friends? In my mind, I'm like, why would I lose friends over me getting married? It didn't make sense to me. It definitely didn't make sense to me. And I thought it was weird. I'm like, okay, no. I was kind of in denial at first. I'm like, no, I'm not losing my friends because I got married or because I have a husband now. Like, no. And honestly, I don't think it's always jealousy either. I don't think it was out of jealousy. I think it was just people just putting so much emphasis on, okay, she's a wife now, so I can't invite her out to dinner. I can't invite her out to a party. I can't invite her out, you know, to a bar to have a drink or any of that. Like, I think that they just assumed maybe that I just couldn't do anything because I had a husband now, or because they didn't want to be around a married person, maybe. I don't know. But I definitely lost some friends. It wasn't all at one time. It was more so gradually over like the first year of marriage that I noticed that I did lose like a good handful of friends. It sucked, but at the same time, I was just like, I mean, guess what it is. So yeah, so I guess we both lost friends, to be honest. So, I mean, with that, either they're your friends or they're not. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that you would lose friends over getting married or, you know, having a spouse. But hey, to each his own. But we definitely have experienced that. So next question is, do you think it was a bad decision to get married earlier?
Not really. No.
No. Why not?
Because I knew I loved him, so I knew I wasn't going anywhere.
He just want to say that. He just want to say that. He just want to say that. He just child. Anyways, so no, I don't think so at all. I think you need to learn yourself first, and of course, get to know your partner. But you learn yourself first. And I knew who I was, honestly. Even though I was young, I was 17 and you were
18.
He was 18. I knew myself and I know me. I'm not saying that I knew that we would just have kids, you know, be married for 10 plus years. I did not know that for a fact, but I knew myself and I knew the type of person that I was, and I knew the type of person that I am, and that how much I was able and capable of loving someone. So I knew. And it's crazy because they always say that you know, but you don't really think that you know. But I had no questions. I had no questions about it, and I was fine with it. Like I was happy. So I don't think it was a bad decision at all. I mean, if we did it, honestly, it wouldn't have been any different as if we had gotten married 2 years later after we graduated, or 3 years later. It would still have been the same thing. It just would have been less years that we were married, but we were definitely going to get married anyway. So I definitely don't feel like it was a bad decision at all. And if I had to do it all over again, I would do it exactly the same way, because I also have my babies now. So yeah, next question. Did it cause you to grow up too fast because of the long-term commitment at a young age?
Well, according to her, I'm still not grown. Still haven't grown up, so.
But what do you think?
I don't know. I don't feel like it. I mean,
being 18. I mean, you can be honest, totally.
I don't know.
We're being honest here. Like, honestly, every question is being answered to the full honesty. We did not rehearse these. He did not see these questions. That's why he's looking down so much. He did not see these questions at all. So trust me. So what do you think?
I mean, I had to grow up, but it wasn't nothing like. It wasn't nothing I regret having to grow up to. But she pushed me to be a better person. So.
I say no. Only because, well, mainly because I've always had a mature sense of self anyway. I've never been like the childish type, if you want to say. I was very mature always. Like, I've always known what I wanted for my life, and I've always known what I wanted for myself. So I feel like it was meant for me and for us, just mainly because of the people that we are, and just because of the person that I am, the woman that I am, and that I wanted to become at the time as well. I feel like we still would have moved out. I definitely still would have moved out into my own place anyway, because we did move out once we got married. Of course, we didn't stay with our parents, but we moved out, and I feel like I still would have moved out. I still would have did the same things, I still would have carried myself the same way. I mean, I feel like it made it no different, just in our case. And I'm speaking for our marriage and our relationship and ourselves. I feel like it didn't really make much of a difference. I mean, we both knew what we were getting into. You know, we both knew that it was a long-term commitment. But I don't feel like, because we still lived our young teenage lives. Like, we definitely did. I mean, I guess people have this conception that when you get married, you just automatically turn into these old people and you just stay in the house and you don't do anything. Definitely not. We definitely still went out. We still acted as if we were teenage roommates and just teenage or high school lovers or whatever. So I don't feel like that at all. We did everything all the other teenagers did. And I was still in high school, right? I was still in freaking high school. And I was married and graduating high school, just like, okay, sorry guys. We had a little battery trouble, but like I was saying, so we were doing the same thing that our high school friends were doing, whether they knew it or not. I graduated high school just like everyone else. And I also went to college just like everyone else. I may not have partied my entire college life, but I definitely went to college. And I definitely still lived a normal life. We were just young and we were just married. We got our own place, you know, we had our own jobs. Well, first couple of years I didn't work. My husband, I was a stay-at-home wife. My husband only worked. So, I mean, it was the same for us. Like, I'm not sure why people think it's like totally different. I mean, it's different. Don't let me, I'm not trying to downplay it at all. But what I'm saying is that, you know, like, we still lived our teenage lives. We were just married and we were just together 24/7. So, I mean, it wasn't like much of a difference. Our teenage lives and our younger years were not taken away from us because we got married in high school. We did all the same things, if not more, because we were married. So don't let that fool you. So next question. So I'm hoping I'm answering the questions for you guys. I hope that we're answering the questions for you guys. So let's see. It says, how do you guys overcome conflicts in your marriage? I think we kind of answered that in the first one. We just, like I said before, we just communicate and we have understanding for each other. I mean, I feel like that's just so vitally important. Communication, understanding, and prayer. To each his own, but I'm a firm believer in prayer. And what I cannot fix with my mouth or through understanding with myself and my spouse, I go to prayer. So those are like the number 3 things, what you say? I think the number 3 things for sure. So then it says, what did it take for you all to get where you currently are as a family? That's a good question. I believe it took patience, love, understanding, guidance, trust, and like, honestly, it's not one thing. I don't feel like that there's one thing at all. Like, it's just a number of things. Because it is a union and you're bringing 2 people together from 2 totally different lives and 2 totally different backgrounds. I feel like it's something that you can't just pinpoint one thing, you know, like, it's more than just one thing. It's totally, you know, just a mixture of everything in one bunch. So, you know, you're building with someone, so you're gonna have to compromise and be understanding of one's, you know, self things that they may not want to change, and things that, you know, things that you may like, that your partner doesn't like, things that your partner likes that you don't like, but you guys are gonna compromise and meet halfway. And then love, of course, you know, you can't have any relationship without love. I mean, what's the point? And patience. Patience. Patience.
Well, I'm not gonna argue with you.
Patience, okay? Listen. Our marriage is not perfect. Our relationship is definitely not perfect. Patience. Guys, we were young, obviously. Again, I was 17, he was 18. but women in general, we're just more mature, you know, like we're just very much so more mature. And I'm not perfect. I wasn't perfect back then either, but you see this piece of clay? I had to mold this piece of clay. I had to mold this piece of clay, and he's not even all the way done yet. This is my work of art.
I mold this piece of clay.
Listen, guys, but it takes patience. Like, we weren't on the same level when we first got together. I feel like, and this is just us being honest, we weren't on the same level. I feel like mentally we were kind of, you know, on the same level, but I feel like in certain parts of our lives and certain parts of ourselves, we weren't on the same level at all. I was definitely mature for my age, like I said before, and I was confident in what I was doing, and I was confident in certain parts of my life, so I knew where I stood in certain things. And you know, no fault to him. I mean, let's be real, all guys kind of need to be molded. All guys kind of need to be molded, and I feel like I've been doing some molding myself, you know. But patience. Anyways, but definitely trust. Of course, you can't. I mean, just like everything else though, like you can't have a relationship without trust. You have to trust your partner. Like if there's no trust and no love and no patience and no understanding and no prayer and no like any of that, like how can you can't make a soup without all the ingredients. And that's what it takes. It takes all the ingredients to make up that union, that marriage that can't be broken, that everything. It takes all of it. There's no one ingredient that you can put in a soup to make it a soup. So, next question. Where is it? Wrong phone. So next question. It says, let's see. What did it take for you all to? Oh, I just read that. Just kidding. Okay, so many individuals see interracial marriages as a problem. They feel as if we should stay in our own demographics. How did both of your families feel about marrying outside your race? That's a good one. That's a good one. So, funny little fun fact. Actually, both of our families were quite, I want to say, supportive, of course, but I want to say they were a little bit intrigued too, and like surprised. And a lot of them thought we were pregnant. They thought that we were getting married so young because we were pregnant, and that definitely wasn't the case. I mean,
10 years later.
Like, they kept waiting months even after we got pregnant. They're like, you don't see your belly, where's the baby? You haven't announced you're pregnant yet. Because I'm not. But as far as the race thing, like, our families didn't really have an issue. I mean, we did have a little incident where one family member did feel a little ways about us, you know, being an interracial couple and us possibly having interracial children. But it was nipped in the bud, to be honest, like very quickly. So it wasn't like a huge thing. It was just a concern. And once that person voiced that concern about us, you know, having an interracial relationship, it was nipped in the bud by everybody else. And I mean, it was nipped in the bud.
Quickly.
Very quickly. But on our parts, neither one of our families had an issue, really, honestly. I mean, and to be honest, like, no one should. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, and never will. It's just, to me, it just seems very closed-minded and very just to each his own, but it's just not something that we have an issue with in our families, in either one of our families. at all. So except that one little part, but honestly, like, she got over it so quickly, and there was an apology and an effort made to get to know, you know, each of us. So it wasn't a big deal, honestly. So that was never an issue with us. Let's see. It says, every family goes through struggle before success. Please let us know how you both overcame adversity at a young age. What do you think? Well, like I said, I've always known the type of life that I wanted for myself and for my future family. And I've always known the type of person that I wanted to be. And I would do anything to make sure I stayed on the right path and to make sure that I didn't stray away too far. Even if I strayed away a little bit, I never strayed away too far to the point where it totally threw me off and it just made everything else fall apart in my life. I always made sure that I kept myself together, and I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to say that I'm perfect, but I knew what I wanted. I've always known what I wanted, and to get that, I take the necessary steps to make sure that I get to that point, and to make sure that my family and themselves get to that point as well. Like, I don't see that being, I just didn't see anything that could stop me, especially me being young and so ambitious. I didn't see anything stopping me and getting in the way besides myself. So I feel like that's like a self type thing. Like, you know, like, I mean, of course, everybody goes through struggles. Like, you're always gonna have that through everything, throughout life, throughout marriage, throughout school, throughout your work, like everything. You're always gonna struggle with something. Everybody's gonna have that. You just have to know how to work through it and how to work through it together when you have a spouse as well. We faced a lot of things within the first few years, and I mean a lot, that could have broken us. But it didn't. Like, you know what you want. When you know what you want, you do whatever it takes, and you don't give up. You don't give up easily, especially. I mean, when we got married, we knew what we were getting into. We knew how old we were, and we knew that it would come with some backlash, and it would come with speculations and just words of discouragement about, you know, where we would end up. I mean, I don't know how many times I heard that we would end up back at our parents' houses, and how many times I heard that we would never make it, or it'll be over in a few years, or she's probably pregnant, or he's got to be crazy to marry her, or they're crazy for getting married at 17, 18. Like, that was expected. That was a little bit expected, and I already knew that because we were in high school, but and it was even coming from strangers that we didn't know when we would be out at restaurants, or actually on our wedding day, we went to celebrate and we were out and about, and I guess someone saw the just married stash that I had on, and it was just, and he didn't even know us, and I'm not even sure if he knew that we heard him or that I heard him, but it was loud and clear, and he's just like, they don't even know what they've just done. They just ruined their entire lives. And like, because I did hear that quite a few times, and our marriage was so questioned, I already knew in my head. I already knew before, but that just made it even more to the point where I'm like, we got this. Like, I knew that. Like, I didn't know what it would all bring, but I knew that we were gonna be together. I already knew this, and I already knew that I knew that people were gonna question it, and that was expected, but you know, that's just how it is. Yeah, you just keep it moving. I mean, no one's perfect, and I don't feel like we should try to be. Nobody should try to be. Nobody should try to have the perfect relationship, the perfect marriage. It's all about making it yours, and making every step of the way of your marriage, you know, not necessarily an easy one, but make it something that's worth it, and make sure that you're making an effort on your part and not just your partner. Like, it's a two-way thing. So you can't just expect your partner to give 75, 80, and you're only giving 20 or 15%. You know, it's a two-way thing. And We've had so many obstacles in the past, guys. Like, I swear, I know a lot of people's like, you guys are so perfect, you guys are so cute. We've had the same trials and tribulations that you guys have all the time. Like, and we still have it. I mean, we still get backlash from people that don't know us, and from strangers in the mall or at a grocery store. We get stares still, and it's gonna be 2020 in a couple days, and we still get stares, and we still get people passing us by and like, are you serious? Like, we literally get that. And you know, like, but it's us, and we know us, and we now have a full family. We have our 2 boys, and it's us, and we've reached 10 years. Can you believe that? We're at 10 years, guys. January 16th is the exact date.
10 years married, living together.
Right. So we've been married for 10 years, and January 16th is the exact date. So we'll be celebrating out of the country. So we're excited, but yes, guys, there's a couple more questions. I'm kind of straying away just talking, but I did see a couple of the other questions that were asking just about, you know, other people and like how they feel about our relationship and all that. And honestly, like,
it doesn't matter what everybody else feels. Yeah.
And honestly, guys, we have the same, I know people think otherwise, but we have the same type of problems that you guys have. I swear we do. It's just, I feel like it's much easier for us now because we've been together for so long, and I know him and he knows me. He knows me front and back, side to side, like, and it's the same on both ends. There is nothing that anyone can come and tell him that he does not know about me, and there's nothing that anyone can come and tell me about him that I do not know. So, and you want to keep your circle like that. When you're married, you're in a union, a circle. It's between you, your spouse, and God. And no one should be able to break that circle or come between that circle, because it's you guys. So when people say, oh, well, you know, you guys just seem so perfect, or you guys just seem like you have it all together. Well, for one, we've been together for such a long time, and for 2, we're not perfect. It's just that we know we've learned each other more, and we know how to communicate better with each other. And we've learned it over the years just by trial and tribulation and trial and error. Like, we've had the same issues, guys. Same issues as you guys, I swear. So yeah, that's just a little behind the scenes with us, guys. Like, we definitely have the troubles. We do. Somebody said, what's you guys' favorite food?
Hers is crabs.
Well, that's my answer. What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Freaking pizza. Can you believe that?
Oh,
Pizza.
no, I'll tell you, Mexican food is actually my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But then pizza.
True.
I should eat crabs every week.
Let me see. And someone did ask, I have to find it. Someone else asked, I can try to just listen to, think of it. Someone asked, where do we want to be in the next 5 years?
Well, I kind of want to be out of Jacksonville.
Oh yeah. So he is like gung-ho on moving out of Jacksonville. I'm not opposed to it, but we'd have to have a bulletproof plan before I do move out of Jacksonville. We've talked about it a couple times. It has been out in the air a few times. So I don't know. We'll see about that. Honestly, I just want to be happy, healthy, continue to watch my children grow, and continue to build our empire. We've been working on a couple things, and I'm excited and just ready for everything to take off, and for us to, like, I feel like we still haven't started like our lives. Do you guys sometimes feel like that? Like, I feel like we haven't started like we've started our lives like a long time ago, but I feel like we haven't started. Yeah, I feel like we're still not where we're supposed to be yet. I feel like something bigger is coming, and something bigger is out there for us. So I'm excited to see, because we're trying to definitely get something together. So yes, so you guys, we're out of wine and we've already had enough. Thank you guys so much for questioning or sending us those questions. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for your support, and it's time to say
good night.
good night.
We may see y'all next Monday for some more questions.
Yes, so this is our new segment, guys. I probably should have said this in the beginning. This is our new segment, Marriage Monday. It will most likely always be something different, but anytime you guys have questions, I'll always ask on all of our social media handles, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, any of that. I'll always ask, you know, for you guys to send us questions, and it can get a little deeper, you know, guys. Listen, I am all here for this. I am always open and always honest. You guys can ask me anything, because I am very open and honest.
Yeah.
Him, on the other hand, you might not want to do that, but I'm always open and honest, and I'm always willing to answer anything, because we have nothing to hide, and you know, we've experienced a lot. Like, we've been married for a whole decade.
And I'm still singing.
And I'm still alive with children. So always send us any questions, and don't be afraid to ask us. There was some more questions here, but we didn't want to make this video too long, so you guys stay tuned for the next Marriage Monday, and send us recommendations that you guys would like to see on our channel. I mean, anything. Send us anything. We're always open to seeing what else we, you know, come up with and what we can do. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for having a glass of wine with us, coffee or tea or soda. But it's time to go.
Good night.
Good night. Bye. Why are you sitting there like that?
I'm sitting here.